Yes. Welcome everybody to part two of our series with Miles Davis, the founder of After LLC. It is a digital social media marketing company that he founded, and he is doing a whole series with us and with Do Space today to kind of help with your social media marketing. And today is going to be optimizing your social media profiles. So if you are just joining us this week and you didn't join us last week, that's okay. The intro part one should be on our Do Space YouTube channel, which I will in a few minutes link in our chat. And yeah, so Miles, go right ahead.
Yeah, so this is our second course and our second installment in our 6-week course here at DSpace. So it's a beginner's guide to social media marketing. So we're going to do an overview today about our social media profiles and how we optimize those in order to continue to scale our business or organization. I just want to start our conversation. Again, you guys can be in the chat asking questions. We'll wait to answer those to the end. If it's not to do with our topic today, but I just want to start with kind of getting you guys' answers on what you think the definition of business is. So if anyone can just type in the chat what their thoughts on the definition of business is. Ron Shepard says he cannot see me. Can everybody see me? Kim, can you see me?
I can see you, Ron. That might be an issue on your end. So you might just leave the webinar and maybe rejoin if you can.
So anyone have any thoughts on the definition of business? Megan says she can't see me either. Let me stop my video. Start it back again. Let's see. Karen says, a business, an enterprise that serves customers, a business, and then Quinn says a business provides a product or service to a customer, client, or alien life form. Business, a social professional entity to provide info or product to the world, providing goods and services to profit. Okay. I like Kelly's definition where it says providing goods and services to profit. A lot of people, their definition of business is creating a product, but the definition of business is creating a product or a resource and then that product being sold for a profit. A lot of the times we're thinking about the definition of production when we think about business, but really we have to remember that it's production plus profit. So it's continuing to connect the two, making sure that we have a revenue stream. That's the definition of business. So when we're talking about selling products, when we're talking about, and you can think of this as in your organization as well. Sometimes you have services that you provide. Connecting those to the customer is important and is a part of business. So when we're selling products, the goal is to make money. But now the question arises is how do you find the best customers? And that's where social media is going to tie into that. Because that's how we're going to connect with the most customers in the world. There's just a few statistics. I can never say that word. Just a few things. There's over 8 billion social media accounts specifically on Facebook. Of course, there's more than there are people on the earth, but that shows us that there is a wide array of people that are available to us just from social media. We are able to connect with so many people now through social media. that really our opportunities to make money are endless. Our opportunities to create business are endless. According to some statistics published in 2019, 700,000 businesses were started in the US in 2014. But over 200,000 of the businesses that started in 2014 had to shut down by 2015. Um, a total of more than 350,000 businesses had to quit operating until 2019. They kind of just, those stats, the reason I'm telling you that is because they portray a depressive picture, highlighting how difficult it is to operate a business. And we all saw in 2020 last year and continuing now, we see that it's very, very difficult for businesses to stay afloat because of the lack of the ability to connect to their customers. During our pandemic, it was evident that when people can't go anywhere and people can't spend money, that a lot of businesses will suffer. And we've seen that a lot of the businesses that have thrived in this time are online or connecting with their customers through social media. So that we start to see that it differentiates. We are starting to see what differentiates between a failing business and a business with high profits. And truly, that's the ability to sell products. So we're going to talk about how we use social media, how we leverage our social media channels and our profiles to sell products and to get our services in the hands of the people who matter. I want to kind of start off by talking about the differences in marketing. I have another question. For everybody here. What are some traditional forms of marketing? Traditional forms. Before social media, what are some traditional forms of marketing? I see TV, radio, newspaper ads, magazines, yeah, billboards. Yeah, so mail flyers. These are all good ones, yes. I see outdoor ADV. I'm not sure what that is. Bus bench flyers, door to door, word of mouth. Word of mouth is always a great form of marketing. Make appointments and see your prospects, working with the Chamber of Commerce, postcards. Yeah, so those are all very traditional forms of marketing. If we were to discuss marketing 10 years ago, again, we would be talking about TV commercials, billboards, newspapers, magazines, but we progressed rapidly in the field of technology. And so we're able to really outshine all of those forms of marketing through social media. It's one of the world's most recognized forms of technology on the planet is social media. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, all of those things are widely recognized, and people use those to buy products, to connect with family, to learn, to do a lot of things that keep our lives moving. So social media continues to grow. According to some research that I found, 71% of people in the U.S. have social media accounts, and that's an approximate number. Or approximate percentage, and then 50% of US citizens spend at least 15 minutes per day on social media. So people are really spending their time and their efforts to connect on social media. So we really have a huge, wide audience, potential customers on social media. So we really want to take advantage of that opportunity to be a part of that. So I want to talk about why social media is important. According to statistics, we're social beings, of course. There are approximately 3.8 billion social users around the entire world. I know I talked about 8 billion accounts, but there's about 3.8 billion social media users, which indicates that 60% of the world's population is on the internet. So Facebook is dominating the top of that. We know that LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, all of those social media profiles or platforms are huge, and people use them daily. So social media has really become a kind of instantly become an essential part of a successful internet marketing strategy. So if we're thinking about marketing dollars, we're thinking about where we should put them. Social media is going to be the most cost effective, and it's going to have the most potential reach of customers than a billboard, which only has people going in that direction in traffic that can see it, or opposed to a bus stop, or opposed to radio. All of those things have limited reach. Really, with social media, we have almost seemingly an unlimited reach to customers or potential customers. The advantages of using social media for your business are a few of these. We talk about increased brand awareness. We talk about improved search engine ranking. So your Google, your Bing SEO will improve with social media profiles. You have improved brand loyalty. So people are more loyal to your business or your brand through social media because they're able to connect with you more often. Also, it's like I said before, it's cost effective. It's one of the most cost effective forms of marketing. And I think it's one of the most effective forms of marketing as well. Better customer satisfaction. So you're able to connect with customers a lot easier. So you're able to answer some of their concerns. You're able to directly talk about the products or services, get feedback from them. So you have better customer satisfaction through social media. And it's significantly faster and easier to communicate with your customers as well. So social media has a lot of benefits. And so it's important that we talk about how to optimize those profiles so that we can really use social media effectively. So I want to just talk about our profiles and how we kind of set those up, how we figure out how to So I'm going to pull up our Instagram, and I'm going to talk about a few elements of our profile that you guys can use as well to really, someone's honking outside my house, to really optimize your profiles in order to connect with your customers and your potential customers a lot more. So I'm going to pull this up really quick. I practice sharing my screen, so you guys see that? I hear yes, yes, yes. Okay, cool. All right, so here's our Instagram profile. So our username, our profile name is the After LLC. We have one of the elements I want to stress and how important it is when we talk about brand loyalty, when we talk about brand recognition, is having our as our profile image. Logo as our profile image is really important because when we post, people are going to recognize our post. When people share our pages, it's important that that logo be there because that's what people are going to recognize, and that's what's going to start building brand loyalty. People are going to recognize that enough that they're going to want to come back. They're going to want to see that. It's going to differentiate you from the rest of the posts on their feed if you have a consistent brand logo on your page as your profile image. So that's a really important factor. So also, we're going to talk about our bio. Our bio talks about the services that we offer. So we have our mission statement here, or a piece of it, and it says transforming the way you market your business and nonprofit. So here it shows us that we're helping people market. So we are a digital marketing firm. So we're helping people market their business and nonprofit. So here we show who we are servicing specifically. We're servicing businesses and nonprofits. So people that are business owners, people who are executive directors, people who are marketing execs, and so on and so forth will really identify with this because we're specifically telling them who we are targeting. We are targeting people who are involved with businesses and nonprofits in order to help them market their business and nonprofit. So that's important that you are stating in your bio who your target market is. We also talk about a few of the services that we offer, specifically web development and search engine optimization, and then also social media strategy and content creation and Google Ads. So those are 3 things that we specialize in, 3 or 4 things that go into 3 categories, but that we specialize in specifically so that we can, again, show our customers and our potential customers how we can help them, how we best serve them. So that's important to add that into your bio as well. A few things that you're able to offer your customer is important so that they know what they're there for, what they're going to get. One thing that's important too is the link in your bio. So right now, of course, we're doing this 6-week course with DoSpace. So we have a link with our DoSpace event in there. We update this regularly. People are able to go to this link and then they're able to sign up and subscribe, or not subscribe, but sign up and register for our classes here at DoSpace. And so this is a link that can be changing, whether you have a sale, whether you have an event going on, but you always want it to link to a product or a service that is relevant to what you're doing now. That's truly, truly, truly important. So that people can have an easy access to your website, easy access to what is going on in your business or your organization. The link in bio is really important that you fill that out and make sure that that is constantly updated. Just a few elements of our profile that we use to optimize and continue to keep people engaged with our social media profile. I'm gonna move this Zoom chat out of the way really quick. Our highlights. So here are highlights on Instagram. These are archive stories that were originally a part of our stories on our Instagram page. So you post a story, and I'll show you what it looks like here in a second, and you're able to archive those. So for example, we posted our services. Actually, I'll show our pointers, or our blog. Let's go to our blog. So we click on our blog, and these are posts that we have made previously. So again, we have blog. This was 68 weeks ago, but we're able to save it to our profile. And these, I can share tips on how to do this with anyone who maybe wants to know. So we shared these 68 weeks ago, but we're able to share them to our profile so people can see what we shared previously. So these blogs are important for people to be able to see and how to increase engagement, how to use hashtag, etc. And we're able to post that so people can have that readily available. One of our things is we educate business owners on how to use social media to engage with their clients, engage with the people who they are servicing. So it's important for us to have our blog readily available on our social media. So highlights is a great way to do that. It's a great way to talk about sales, to talk about new products, to talk about services that you offer. All of those things can be added to your highlights. Another thing that we do is we do weekly affirmations, which are quotes and things that are going to inspire a business owner or organization head. And so we save those here as well. So people can come and see that we have some weekly affirmations. We also have our social media calendar, our social calendar, which talks about, and this is a lot clearer on the desktop or on the phone, but we can see, so see like what are some of the things in the month that you might want to use to boost some of your engagement on social media. So you might want to make a Christmas post, or you might want to, if you're, for example, if you're Charles Drew, World AIDS Day is an important day. You might want to make a post on that day. So these are some of the things that we kind of share with our users so that they can continue to optimize their own social media profiles. Here's some of our services, et cetera, et cetera. So I think you guys get the point. These are highlights. And so you can use these to show your followers all the things that you have to offer. And it stays right there. Whoops, I got out of there. Let me search this again. Okay. So those are highlights. And if anybody wants to know a little bit more about highlights, I'd be happy to share that with you. I shared my email, but I will share it again. You guys can send me an email. I got a question from Quinn Jones. Is your primary business presence on Instagram only? No, it's not. We're just talking about Instagram profiles now. We will move to Twitter and we will move to Facebook as well. Yes, okay. So our page. So it's important, and I think this is a really important step for you guys to take and consider, is the overall branding of your social media page, especially on Instagram. So with Instagram, everyone can see all your posts at once. So they're able to scroll through your entire page and see all of your posts. It's important that you have some brand recognition and that you have some cohesion within your page. As you can see, we use a lot of the same colors, our brand colors throughout. We're skipping back and forth between white and colors to really give a look of cohesion so that people recognize our posts when they're scrolling through their timeline, and then when they page has a cohesive look. So that's really important to choose a theme for your Instagram page. You want to make sure that you're using the same logo size, using some of the same similar colors, same placement of logo. All of those things are important when you're posting on Instagram, because again, you want people to recognize your post. That again will help you with brand recognition and brand loyalty from your followers. So you're going to get more engagement, you're going to get more likes, more comments if you are consistent with your branding. So that's a really important tip when optimizing your social media profile on Instagram. I want to give another tip on a post. I'm just going to choose a random one. For example, here's a review from one of our clients, Trishana. She is the owner of Mixin's Rolled Ice Cream. So she gave us a review, and it says very knowledgeable, great, blah blah the review. But when we posted this, we posted that we tagged her. So that's a really important thing when you're thinking about engaging. We tagged her. We tagged her personal profile as well. But this is one thing that I think that is important, is hashtags. So when we're on our social media profiles, we want to make sure that we're using hashtags. And a lot of people will put them in our original copy, but I like to comment the hashtag. Right after I post, I comment the hashtag because again, you can't see it when you're scrolling through the page, but then also it's just as effective as a comment. I have a couple questions. Is Instagram and Pinterest basically the same platform? They are not. They have a lot of the same features. I think that people use Instagram more for actually connecting with businesses or with other professionals. Pinterest is more of a shared space for ideas, in my opinion. Do you recommend adding the hashtags in a separate comment? Yes, Rita, I do. I do recommend adding it in a separate comment. It's just as effective. Um, it's just as effective, and it's a lot prettier that way. What exactly does a hashtag do? So I'll show you guys really quick. So for example, if I tag marketing digital and I can click this, here is 21 million posts that have tagged marketing digital. So I'm really connecting myself with a group of people who are interested in that topic. I'm able to go, and not necessarily everything is relevant to what you're doing. This is why I use multiple hashtags. But you're able to put yourself in the conversation with these people who are interested in digital marketing or marketing digital. So you're able to really just insert yourself in the conversation. So anyone scrolling to this page is going to be able to interact with your post. That way you're able to really reach a wider array, a wider audience through social media by using hashtags. So people follow hashtags. Yes, you can. People can follow hashtags. So if I was to follow marketing digital, I'm now following that. When I go to my stream or my stream of post, it'll be in there just like if I was following anyone else. I will start to see these posts pop up on my timeline. Now I won't go too much more into hashtags, so we'll talk about that in weeks to come. But I'll answer a couple more questions. Is there a limit to the number of hashtags you can use? How many are recommended? There is a limit. It's ever changing, so I can email you. If you send me an email and ask me that question, I can give you some solid answers on the limit. There is a character limit, but it changes all the time, so I don't want to give you the wrong answer. Jennifer, do all platforms use hashtags? Will an Insta hashtag take you to Twitter or Facebook? Does Facebook use hashtags? Hashtags are individual for the platform. So if the hashtag is used on Twitter, then it will only take you to, it will only give you Twitter results or posts that have been posted on Twitter. And the same with Instagram or Facebook. Yes, all platforms use hashtags. I think that they are more effective on Instagram or Twitter rather than Facebook. All right. I'm going to show you guys our Twitter. And we're just going to talk about our bio and profile picture and how to opt in. Oops, I said after LLC.com. And can you guys see my Twitter now? Or are we still seeing Instagram? Okay, yes, you can see the Twitter. Okay, perfect. So here's Twitter on the desktop. Again, we are using our logo as our profile image, and it's important that you use the same profile image across all social media channels. Again, that's going to help you continue to create brand recognition. When you have a logo as your profile image across all your social media accounts, you're really, excuse me, you're really able to continue to create that cohesion across all of those platforms. So Again, using your logo as your profile image is an important step to optimizing your social media profiles. And again, create that brand recognition, which will turn into sales for you, or connecting people to your products or services. This is one thing that's different that Instagram doesn't have is we have a header image. And so this is a great way to promote sales. It's a great way to, if you're, say your photography business, is a great way to show recent photography you've done. There's a lot of options you can use for this header image. What I like to use it for is to engage with people. I ask a question. This is the emoji I use across all my social media profiles. Are you ready to grow your business? And so really keeps people engaged. That's a way that they understand what I'm here to help them do. So the header image for. Again, if you want more information, I do have an ebook. We'll talk about more into depth in the chat as well. But that goes more into depth about all of these things, about header images and all of those things. So I can share in the chat as well. So that's the header image. Again, working about our bio. It's the same bio. You can use the same bio from your Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and then actually to create that brand recognition, cohesion across your platforms. Again, I talk about transforming the way you market your business and nonprofit, and I talk about the things that we offer, the services that we offer. In our Twitter, and this is something that I can update you. So right now, it just takes us to our homepage, and there's that ebook. If you guys go to the afterllc.com, that talks about this week. This week is using social media to scale your business. So this just takes us right to my homepage and my website. Again, that's my header image. This one moves, but it just takes you right to the homepage. So you can utilize that link in bio in order excuse me, in order to drive people to your website or any event or anything that you have going on. So that's really Twitter. Twitter is really pretty simple. We use our Twitter to share affirmations and quotes. You can use your Twitter to sell products and things like that. We also communicate with our clients on Twitter. And learn things on Twitter as well. We're talking and tweeting and having conversations with other brand developers and web developers on Twitter. So it's a really great platform to start a conversation, to have conversations. You can do polls, and we'll talk about all of those different elements in the weeks to come. But I just wanted to talk about how we optimize this part of it. So again, profile image, make sure that's a logo or something that's representative of your brand that you can share across all platforms, including Instagram and Facebook. We talked about the header image. The header image can be used to promote products, to promote services, to engage with your followers. The header image is really something that's going to grab the attention of your followers. Again, I use the same bio across all of my social media platforms. So again, developing a bio that helps you to identify your target market and helps to share the products and services that you specialize in. One thing that I didn't mention is that we have the same handle across all of our social media profiles. This makes it really easy for people to be able to find us on all of our social media channels. If you have the same handle, they can type it into Facebook, they can type it into Twitter, they can type that into Instagram, and they'll be able to find your profile. So finding a handle that will work for all profiles is a really good way to make sure that you have that cohesion, but also have that availability for people to find you and connect with you, and hopefully buy your products or subscribe to your services. So that is Twitter. Twitter. And it shows when we join, and you can we'll talk about privacy settings and all of that in weeks to come as well. All right, let's go to Facebook. Someone said, what's a handle? So how does one establish a handle? Okay, we'll talk about handles a little bit before we go to Facebook. So a handle is your @name. And an @name is your profile name. There's so many names for this, but again, it's just here. So when I searched on Instagram, for example, when I was searching the After LLC, that is my handle. It's not my name on my profile because my name on my profile is just the After. But my handle is the After LLC. And that's where people that's how people find you on social media. They say @the After LLC or whatever your handle is. And that's the same for Twitter as well. So you can see it's highlighted here. Does that answer your question? I know a few people have that. You can use your Memoji and emojis without permission on social media. And the Memoji is a likeness of yourself, so you have the rights to that. I feel so crazy asking this, but do space doesn't matter in handles? It affects searching. You can't have a space in a handle. You can have an underscore or a hyphen. Actually, you can't have a hyphen. You can have an underscore. You can't have any space. How did you get your emoji that large? Okay, you can email me this question and I can show you guys. We're also going to talk about in the weeks, the following weeks, what apps I use. Also on my website, I have a blog, and I'll show you. Scroll down. I have a blog that shows the app I use. It's called Over. It has my little emoji, so you guys can go and look at that on my website for more information. I have a blog about that. So just send me emails, and I'll be happy to share some resources with you guys. Okay, let's go to Facebook really quick and talk about the profile there. Okay. I don't want, I guess I'll log in really quick. And this is the profile that I created last week. Anyways, so here's our Facebook profile. And as you see, we have the same profile image. And Facebook's a little bit different. We have our URL down here, but it's again recognizable, shows our logo, so people have that brand awareness across all of our platforms. And we still have the same handle that we talked about, the After LLC. So that's really important in my book, to have that same handle so that you have the availability for people to connect with you. If you search the After, let's go back to this question from Jennifer. If I were to search the After LLC with space, would you show up since it's just one word? Oh, that's a good question. Let's see. It depends also on your SEO. For internet, that depends on your SEO. If you search that would show up for me. On Instagram, we have followers and people who are connected. So yes, it shows up on Instagram as well as a top search. So yes, that answers your question. It really just depends on how many people engage with you. If there's other similar names, it really depends. It all depends on their algorithm, but most likely, yes, it will show up, especially if you use all of those elements. If I just search the After, other things show up because there's other things that have better engagement than I do with that name, just the After. Now that's why I have in my handle the After LLC and what I'm known by as well. So that kind of differentiates me from the rest. Does that answer your question, Jennifer? I'll wait for her response. But we'll go back into Facebook. Okay, great, Jennifer. I'm glad to answer your question. So again, same handle across all of our social media profiles. And again, and this is only showing this way because it's on our desktop, but on our Facebook, same bio. Same bio. Again, that's the best way that we are able to show people what we offer, who we're targeting, all of that. I don't really like seeing my video of my face working down there, but that's all right. So also one thing in our about section on Facebook is you're able to set a price range. That's important. Setting a price range will help people to recognize, if they can afford your business or if they're a little higher than what they can afford. So you're setting a price range will help you again to show $1 million. It will help you again to show who you're targeting and what demographic you're specifically working with. So a price range is important to add that in your business details. Again, this is another email you guys can reach us at, by the way. But we have our contact information, we have our phone number, we have our URL, our website, we have our email. We have it available for people to send us messages on Facebook. And it tells you what our response times are. That's an important thing, that when you're communicating with your customers, that you're responding in a good amount of time, because Facebook will show how you respond. Ours is typically replies within a few hours, so that's pretty decent. More info, again, we have our about page, and then we have our story. So you're able to really talk about your business. And that's our story. And you guys can read that later. But yeah, that's optimizing your profiles. Setting them up so that they're cohesive across all of your social media platforms is really important. I do talk about this, like I said, a little bit more in the ebook that I have. So I'll drop that in the chat. You guys can download that. You guys can always send me questions and ask me questions. Any questions specifically about any of these profiles. And I can try to answer those now. Drop your questions. I'm going to stop sharing my screen really quick. I have a few other things to share, but I just want to know if we have any questions. Any questions? Are you working from DoSpace or AIM? I'm working from home. Yes, I'm working from my house. I'm in my office, which is great technology. Has Facebook ads gotten more expensive lately? Everything is getting more expensive as time goes. I wouldn't say that it has jumped. It's definitely more expensive than when it started. I think that there's a gradual increase, but not more lately than usual, if that answers your question. And honestly, it's still the cheapest way of advertising is on Facebook. Can you explain what does SEOs do for your business? So SEO is search engine optimization. Again, it's all about people being able to access you, how easily accessible you are. So when people search your business and you have a good search engine optimization, then it's easier for them to click on your website, buy your products or services. So SEO is important because you want people to be able to easily find you so that they don't have to put in a lot of work to connect with your business. A good free source of avatars or gifts that may reflect the kind of service or who I am. Check out the blog on my website, and I'll drop that right in this app that I use. Give me a second. This app that I use called Over is a great app that has resources for free images and GIFs as well. And you can search it just like you would Google or anything like that. And those are images that you can use on social media without any extra permissions. So that's what I like to use Over for that. And I just dropped that blog in the chat. Do you recommend having a YouTube channel as well? Do you have one? Yes, I do recommend having a YouTube channel, and yes, I do have one. I'm continuously growing my YouTube channel. It takes work. I think Do Spaces has a great example of a functioning YouTube channel, and Kim has dropped in the link to that. But yes, YouTube is a great place to connect with customers as well. Again, we focus on education, and so one of the things that I'm hoping to do this year is to develop a more effective YouTube presence. It takes some work, but yes, I think that it's definitely, I would recommend having a YouTube. I work on YouTube channels with a lot of my clients as well, so yes, I would recommend that. Let me expand this chat because I can't see everybody's. Yeah. Okay. How do I find best specific keywords for industry business? Tom, if you email me, I will share with you some articles. There's a lot of sources to search for keywords. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of exploration, but I'll send you some articles on where to get you started on finding keywords that are specific for your business. Jennifer, I'm old school, use a desktop. Can you set up Insta from that? Just ordered a touchscreen desktop. Would that work for Insta with an Insta app? Thanks. So you can't upload images to Instagram from a desktop. You have to have a mobile device. Unless it's, I don't think any desktop has, and I could be wrong, but I don't think any desktop has an Instagram app. So I would definitely, I would definitely get a mobile device if you want to share on Instagram. You can use Instagram as far as commenting, liking posts, messaging people, but you cannot upload images to your own page from a desktop. You do need a mobile device. How is your business doing? Are your clients local or outside of Omaha? What is your preferred marketing resource? Google search, Facebook, Instagram, where do you get most of your hits? My business is doing well. We've been in business since 2015. And most of my clients are local. I have a few clients that are based in Lincoln and Kansas City. That's as far as my clients go. What is your preferred marketing resource? I use my website a lot to market my business. As far as social media goes, I would say I get my most hits on Facebook. I get my most engaged as far as like people hitting me up or people messaging me or my business for services or products. I would say that would be on Facebook. As far as the most engagement and comments and likes and shares, I get that on Instagram. So I feel like my brand awareness is more effective on Instagram. Facebook, I have a lot of personal connections on there, so I get a lot of messages on Facebook more than Instagram, just because of my personal connections. Does after cost? Margie, if you can clarify your question, I can try to answer that for you. Hi there, Miles. Can we get your email when you get a chance? Yes, I'll share my email again on here. And I'll share my website. You guys can always contact me through there as well. It'll go right to that email as well. There's a few different contact forms on the website. Any other questions? Isn't after the name of the app that you can increase the size of your emoji? Over is the name of the app. And again, I'll share this link to our blog about Over. And you can go on our website, our Instagram as well. In our highlights, we have a few apps that we have reviewed on there. Okay, I'm looking forward to next week as well, Jennifer. Okay, any more questions before we close out for the day? Again, please feel free to email me any of your questions. Angie says, how do you manage all your social media platforms? I use a app called Hootsuite, and we'll talk about that in the coming weeks as well. Hootsuite, we'll just talk about how I integrate that into my management process. Sorry, Hootsuite. Hootsuite. And this platform does cost. Again, the Over app that I shared with you guys, thank you, Kim, for sharing that link. The Over app that I shared with you guys, you can also post from there. So check that out as well. And then you can find that link in our blog. We have a session on. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us today. We look forward to talking with you next week. Again, you can register now for our next week class. And I hope to see you guys all next week. Thank you.